The world you live in is not fair. It never was. Behind polite smiles and professional handshakes and friendly conversations, a silent competition is happening every second. People compete for status, for control, for influence. Some do it openly, but the most dangerous players, they do it quietly. They understand something most people never realize. Human interaction is not just conversation, it is psychology. Every meeting is a negotiation of power. Every relationship has invisible hierarchies. Every conversation contains subtle attempts to influence. Most people walk through life unaware of this silent battlefield. They trust easily. They react emotionally. They reveal their weaknesses. And without realizing it, they become easy to control. But a small group of people see the world differently. They understand human nature. They observe more than they speak. They control their emotions when others lose theirs. And because of this, they become extremely difficult to manipulate. This is not about becoming cold or cruel. It is about becoming psychologically aware, because once you understand the hidden patterns of human behavior, you begin to see the world clearly, the reality of the world. From childhood, most people are taught a comforting lie. Be nice to everyone. Trust people. The world is fair, but reality is far more complicated. Human beings are not purely rational creatures. We are emotional, we are tribal, we are driven by status, ego, insecurity, and desire for control. History proves this again and again. Empires rise not just through strength, but through strategy and psychological intelligence. Leaders gain power not only by force, but by understanding human motivations. Even in everyday life, psychological influence is everywhere. In workplaces, people compete silently for promotions. In social circles, individuals fight subtly for dominance. In relationships, people test boundaries to see how much control they can gain. And the truth is uncomfortable. Some people study psychology to protect themselves. Others study it to manipulate others. The difference between being controlled and being respected often comes down to one thing: mental strength, not physical strength, not loud confidence, but the kind of psychological strength that makes others think twice before trying to manipulate you. The core concept: strategic awareness. There is a concept that separates ordinary thinkers from strategic minds. It is called strategic awareness. Strategic awareness means understanding what is really happening beneath the surface. When someone flatters you excessively, a strategic mind asks, well, what do they want? When someone tries to provoke anger, a strategic mind asks, why are they trying to control my reaction? When someone pressures you to make a quick decision, a strategic mind asks, who benefits from my hurry? Strategic awareness is the ability to step outside your emotions and observe the situation like a chess player. Because life is rarely a simple conversation. It is often a psychological game. And those who understand the rules of this game become extremely difficult to manipulate. Let's explore the traits that create this kind of mind. Trait 1. Emotional self-control. The first trait of mentally strong people is emotional self-control. Most manipulation relies on one simple strategy: trigger emotions. Anger, fear, guilt, jealousy. Once someone controls your emotions, they control your decisions. This is why manipulators often provoke reactions. A coworker might criticize you, publicly hoping you will explode. A rival might insult you, push you into a bad decision. An insecure person may guilt-trip you to gain control. But emotionally disciplined individuals do something different. They pause, they observe, they respond slowly. Instead of reacting instantly, they ask themselves, why is this person trying to provoke me? This moment of pause is powerful because it breaks the manipulator's strategy. History is full of leaders who mastered this. Instead of reacting emotionally to insults or pressure, they stayed calm and calculated. They understood something simple but powerful. The person who controls their emotions controls the situation. Trait 2. Strategic silence. Most people talk too much. They reveal their plans, their fears, their insecurities, their frustrations, and without realizing it, they give others psychological leverage. But mentally strong individuals understand the power of strategic silence. Silence does three things. First, it makes others reveal more information. When you remain quiet during a conversation, people often feel uncomfortable. They begin filling the silence. They reveal their true intentions. Second, silence creates mystery. People respect individuals who do not constantly explain themselves. Third, silence protects your weaknesses. If people do not know your vulnerabilities, they cannot easily use them against you. There is a reason skilled negotiators and powerful leaders often speak less than others. They are observing, listening, analyzing. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, the quiet observer gains the most knowledge. Trait 3. Detached observation. Most people are too emotionally involved in situations to see them clearly. When conflict appears, emotions take over. Anger clouds judgment, fear distorts perception, but psychologically strong individuals practice detached observation. They observe people like a scientist studies behavior. They watch body language, tone changes, hidden motivations. For example, if someone suddenly becomes overly friendly after ignoring you for months, a detached observer wonders, why the sudden change? If someone repeatedly compliments you before asking for a favor, a detached mind sees the pattern. Instead of becoming emotionally attached to every interaction, they analyze it. This doesn't mean becoming cynical, it means becoming aware, because the moment you start observing human behavior objectively, you begin seeing patterns most people miss. Trait 4. Boundary mastery. Manipulative people search for individuals with weak boundaries. These are people who struggle to say no, people who feel guilty when they protect their time, people who prioritize pleasing others over respecting themselves. Once manipulators identify someone like this, they push further. More requests, more pressure, more control. But mentally, strong individuals establish clear psychological boundaries. They say no without excessive explanations, they protect their time, they refuse disrespect, and surprisingly, this often leads to greater respect. Human nature is strange. People often respect those who respect themselves. When someone calmly refuses manipulation, it sends a powerful signal. I am not easy to control. Trait 5. Long-term thinking. Impulsive people are predictable. They react quickly. They chase immediate rewards. They make emotional decisions. Manipulators love impulsive personalities because impulsive people can be guided easily, but mentally strong individuals think long-term. They ask, how will this decision affect me months from now? They resist short-term temptations. They avoid emotional traps. For example, imagine someone insulting you publicly. The impulsive reaction is immediate revenge, but long-term thinkers ask, will responding benefit me or only escalate conflict? Sometimes the strongest move is not retaliation, it is strategic patience. The ability to think long-term makes someone extremely difficult to manipulate, because manipulation relies on short-term emotional reactions. Trait 6. Psychological independence. One of the greatest sources of manipulation is approval seeking. People who desperately need validation are easy to control. Praise them and they comply. Threaten rejection and they surrender. But mentally strong individuals develop psychological independence. They do not depend on others for their self-worth. They respect opinions, but they are not controlled by them. This independence creates a powerful form of freedom, because the greatest tool of manipulation is fear of disapproval. Remove that fear, and manipulation loses power. Trait 7. Pattern recognition. Human behavior follows patterns. Manipulators often repeat the same strategies: guilt, gaslighting, flattery, victim playing. Once you study these patterns, they become easy to recognize. For example, someone repeatedly shifts blame onto others. Someone always portrays themselves as the victim. Someone alternates between kindness and cruelty to keep you emotionally unstable. These are not random behaviors, they are patterns. Mentally strong individuals learn to recognize these patterns quickly, and once you recognize a pattern, you are far less likely to fall into it again.